r/AskReddit. What's a simple thing someone can do to better their life? Compliment people behind their backs. It seriously reduces the drama you have to deal with in your day-to-day life. Especially do it to coworkers. I've made an effort in my life to always do this. If I'm talking about you and you aren't in the room, then it's always complimentary. Sufficient sleep and hobbies. So just make sleep your hobby then. Have achievable short-term goals and reward yourself appropriately when you achieve them. Whenever I complete a task on my list, I allow myself 10 minutes on Reddit. Makes the day go faster. Funny, it is the exact reverse for me. I allow myself 10 minutes of work for every 8 hours of Reddit. Days won't go by fast though. Days drag and years fly by. Show up on time. People feel that their time is respected if you do, and you keep adding to your accountability and credibility bank. The people that are late will never take this advice. In their mind, the process of leaving and going somewhere is more important than being on time. Took me 10 years studying someone to figure this out. It still mystifies me. Some things can't be helped, but I know someone who was recently 90 minutes late to a dinner they planned. How? I have Q co-worker who shows up 15 minutes late to appointment with specific times and people are waiting on her. She doesn't even call, I have to call her. No apologies. She literally doesn't give a duck about others' time. Drink more water, or you might die. I work in the trades. Never stretched, always stiff. A month ago I started stretching in the morning and before going to bed, and it has made huge difference. Just last week I was able to touch my toes with straight legs for the first in my life. Open some blinds my dude and let some sunshine in your house in the mornings. It always made happy. Scotland here. I've opened the blinds, but can you elaborate on this sunshine? Awaiting further instructions. Exercise. It really helps if you're dedicated and consistent with it. A weird way I convinced my lazy self to do this was by telling myself I will only work out for a few minutes or go for a short run. Once you begin, you most likely want to keep going. Similarly with work and procrastination. Tell yourself you will only work for 5 minutes. You will find you will be working for much longer. I tell myself I am going to go and use the massage table. Then I get there and figure I should probably just work out. Why is it so hard to actually get to the gym even when you enjoy working out? I wonder if it's some kind of brainwashing that was done to us by education and parents. I can't quite pinpoint the reason, but the cognitive dissonance in these cases, if it feels good why don't I want to do it, has to be cause of some crappy conditioning from when we were kids. Out of the countless times I have worked out in my life, there's only maybe a 0.1% that I really regretted it. The rest felt pretty great. So can't help but wonder why as well. Create a budget. There are so many free tools available online that it really is simple. Take a few minutes each day to monitor your spending, saving, and you'll thank yourself later. Accurate. So many of my friends, late 20s, have no clue what is happening in their finances. They consider if they end the month within their bank account, so they didn't use credit. They were financially responsible, which is the first step, but they don't seem to realize they could be doing more. When you start tracking your expenses, you realize where money is going, whether you like it going there, and you can start tracking and saving and work towards bigger goals. Personally, I loved reading Your Money or Your Life. It's a little old. Last chapter of investment advice may not be as relevant, but a lot of the consciousness it brings to your spending is still applicable. Open an IRA with a company like Vanguard and put money in it each year. Try to save the yearly max of $6,000. Saving for retirement in your 20s is so important if you can manage. Consciously try to make someone else's day better. It will almost always make you feel better too. I try to do one major act of kindness a week. Usually I'll just mysteriously give people gift cards for coffee when I see they are having a bad day, but even just something small like complimenting someone makes a difference. Be more honest, but don't be a douchebag about it. This is a concept that escapes so many people. It is entirely possible to be honest without being an asshole. Oftentimes it's literally just reordering your words. It's so true. Your project has gone to it, and you should trash the whole thing and start over, and I know it's hard to hear, but I think your best bet at this point is to just trash the whole thing and start over. Or even, it might be easier for you to start over and use pieces you know work from the old one. There are a million ways to rephrase so you don't sound like a total ass. LOL. Yeah, for real. I am the son of a pastor, so it might come easier to me than others though. I had an instance where a new co-worker who was young and inexperienced did a terrible job on a task, and when I was asked about it I paused and said I think he needs a better understanding of what our expectations are for him here. To which my boss said, oh wow, I've never heard someone say he did a shitty job so kindly before. Delve into your fantasies every once in a while. As people get older, they tend to lose a lot of that spirit which allows them to sit around thinking of amazing things. Picture some fun stuff. Picture some impossible things which, although they don't exist in the real world, do exist in your mind. Although it's important to keep a firm perspective on the real world, let yourself daydream a little. Better yet, put it down on paper. Write a little story. Draw a picture. One of the best things about humans is their ability to be creative. I think it's important to never lose that creativity. You never know, you could be sitting on an imagination which is capable of creating best-selling novels or world-class paintings. Remind yourself of the good things you have. Even if it's something as simple as a roof over your head, the bed you sleep in, or the phone you use to browse Reddit with. Also, acknowledge positive things about yourself, whether it be your hair, your style of clothing or something you accomplished when you were younger. It sounds cheesy, but for those of us who focus more on the negative aspects of life, it does help to remind yourself that there are hidden gems in there too and it's important to take notice of them. ETA, if you are struggling with something, it's perfectly okay to acknowledge your pain, anger, sadness, etc. and allow yourself time to work through it. Reminding yourself of the positives is just to keep you from getting completely bogged down in the negativity. You need to throw out all the garbage from your head, understand what makes you unhappy and try to change it. Yeah, but it's my head making me unhappy. Ducking head. I said this to another poster, but maybe this will help you as well. Here's an awesome thing my therapist told me that solved this problem for me. Give the negative voice a name in your head, and anytime you think something negative, tell that name to stop it. When you associate a name with it, it's no longer you saying it, it's them. We don't typically have a defense mechanism for ourselves against ourselves, but we do against external comments. But what if external comments are right? That's the negative voice. You are doing the best you can with what you are dealing with. Every person has their own experience and story. When you feel like you have to prove yourself, ask yourself, who are you trying to prove yourself to and why? Are you actually trying to prove yourself to them? Or to you? Why? When you get rid of that nasty negative voice in your head and stop trying to prove yourself and instead focus on bettering yourself or doing what gives you drive. For me, it's game development. You go from trying to keep what you have from leaving and go to appreciating what you have. When you can appreciate what you have, it's easy to find something to smile about. Also, I have GAD and now take anxiety medicine Lexapro, and it's been a world of difference because it keeps me out of my head and the constant worry is gone. Another thing I do is clean slate every day and give compliments when I see things. For compliments, see something that makes you say in your head, cool, nice, pretty, etc. Say it out loud to whoever it's related to. The more you do it, the more you realize it's super easy to give compliments and people love them. When they smile, you smile. It makes you both feel better. As for clean slate every day, basically, I stopped caring what happened the day before and moved on. Did someone upset you yesterday? Maybe they had a really shitty day. Move on. It takes so much energy to hold on to that. Did something bad happen yesterday to you? There's nothing you can do to undo what happened. Think about the next steps for how to address it instead of lingering on it. The more you let go of the negative, the more you will see the positives in the day and life. Sure, repeated incidents from the same person subconsciously get embedded in you, but that means you are judging them based on a one-time thing. You are basing them on their actions over time and makes it easier to see people as people living a life and not as people out to get you. Let me know if you want to talk or want any other advice. Don't ignore their mental health. It is everything. Totally agree. Took me way too long to deal with some of my anxiety issues. Now I look back on all that time I was putting off dealing with it and see it as such a waste. Declutter your living space. It's not exactly easy the first time, but when you get rid of the things you don't ever use, minus a collection, it really clears your head. This made a huge difference for me. I always hated tidying up and cleaning because it involved moving so much stuff around. After decluttering, I had more clear surfaces, quick and easy cleaning, and I find less decorations visually calming. Imagine every item made a tiny noise. What do you hear? Can you hear the voices of the things you really like? The memories they share and the promises of future events? Or a cacophony of the shrill voices of random things everywhere? Thank you everyone that helped us reach 16,000 subs. I hope everyone has a great day.